So I want to give you guys a little bit of insight as we jump on into Summoner's Rift as the level 1 actually starts up. Jankos forced away here. We'll just use the ward jump to get away from the undertow. And I'll give you a little bit of insight onto the caster dynamics we have during that little screen where we don't have to talk. I always look at Vedius and I point at some of the things on the screen. I'm like, Vedi, do you want to look at top lane? Do you want to look at mid lane? And he just looked at me with the most confused face I've ever seen. He's just
what do you want to say?
I have no idea what I want to talk about.
You want to sit there and like, okay, let's break down Annie versus Poppy?
That is exactly what I wanted you to say, Vedius.
I'll be honest, I've never seen this matchup before. I have seen some Annie top lanes in solo queue, and I love the fact that Wonder is running Kleptomancy, because one of the things about Annie is her base range really long. So it's actually really easy for her to harass and kind of pick up these Kleptomancy stacks. Once she hits level 6 as well, she has a lot of defensive tools and gank setup. You'll notice that you need to keep track of those 4 little dots you see underneath her mana bar, because once she's got that fully stacked, she has a stun available to her. I can't believe I'm explaining basic Annie mechanics.
I can give you a cool non-basic Annie mechanic if you want.
Tell me.
So what you do is you stack up 3 procs of your passive, then you throw out a Q and use your shield while the Q's in the air. The Q will then stun, and people get slightly surprised by it.
Ooh.
Support Annie for about 2 weeks once. So
very, very cool.
There we are. We'll see if that happens. If it does, superior analyst once again.
So, what has happened, though, in the laning phase is that SK have swapped Perian up to the top lane and Sakura down to the mid. And I think this is a smart adaptation because we already talked about the extremely long range on the Annie and how obnoxious it is to deal with. So, Sakura going to Tristana on this Poppy, not necessarily that much easier. However, it's Poppy can better utilize the W against the likes of a Trist. So these early plays, if Caps tries to go for an all-in play, you can then proc the Steadfast Presence, mitigate that jump, but also you have gank setup as well. So if Caps tries to jump away, you can interrupt it.
And of course on 914 they added grounding to that Steadfast Presence, so it makes it a lot harder for you to get away. Into the Rakan, it's a good pick. Into the Yasuo, it's a good pick. Lee Sin as well with dashes. This Poppy could end up working wonders for SK. We'll see how effectively they can use it against our reigning LEC champions, as G2 once again have kind of brought up a random assortment of champions in this game.
Yeah, they certainly have. And I feel like level 6 should really be the go button for G2 Esports with this comp. It does feel like it's a little bit all over the place. They do have the ability to split push, but I feel like that their team fighting is still very strong. Skirmishing is, I think, the best environment for them to be in. But I think that what's really important for this comp is that they look for early leads and they try and utilize the fact that they have a very strong early to mid game with the champions that they picked up for themselves. As we see Perks and Mickey going for a couple of trades in the early laning phase. And the big thing I wanted to say about this bot lane was with Gragas and Yasuo, you have very clear all-in at about level 4 because you have a lot of burst. Rakan doesn't necessarily have the same amount of burst as a Gragas, so I'm curious as to what windows they'll look to try and force these all-ins. Will they wait for the level 6, or will they try and force these trades once those level 4 marks come in as well?
I think the important thing is as well in that lane, sometimes you talk about going in for the all-in, sometimes you take trades just to force your opponent back, but the Ezreal has teleport, whereas Perks only has the exhaust, so getting him out of lane isn't as effective as if you were playing up against an AD carry who doesn't have that summoner spell. But early doors, both junglers were looking up towards the top lane. Selfmade went in looking for a counter gank against Jankos, who's just waiting in the bush, and it actually looks like Pyrian is going to face check that. Jankos forces him away, and Pyrian's able to survive to fight another day. Mickey caught out just a little bit by Selfmade, but the undertow will not connect, and now crown shots coming in from the side. Mickey should be able to dodge out of this one pretty easily.
So we did say that Selfmade may look for a couple of ganks bot in the draft, given that he wanted to, he could play around the Braum. Flash QE does have some pretty strong setup, but right now notice how Jankos has been able to meander his way around the ward. Stun comes through.
And Jankos coming in. Pyrian trying to land the root. We'll see if he can get away. Flashes straight away. Jankos on the chase here. Flashes and misses the Q. And he's underneath the tower. He's caught out. Pyrian almost turns it around. Jankos with a misplay.
Bit of a misplay there from Jankos. He would have had the execute if he lands the Q, but we don't have time as Selfmade looks for a gank bot.
Perks and Mickey have their flashes. Mickey also just has that grand entrance to jump away, and it's a pretty easy escape for the G2 bot lane.
So Selfmade continuing his pressure towards bot. Meanwhile, Jankos playing heavily around the top side of the map. It feels like that they're trying to leverage the early stuns that Annie has access to. And even though they didn't get a kill, by getting the flash out, it then sets them up nicely for the level 6 mark, but they can look for another play or maybe even a dive. But here's the all-in from Caps.
Ignite onto Sakura, the jump with a chase. Steadfast Presence going to knock him over. He's locked into the wall, and Sakura wins it! Caps, you can bring out whatever champion you want. Sakurai has your number.
Sakurai with the outplay, beautifully played by the top laner of SK. He walks away with a kill onto Caps. No summoner spells on the Tristana. Beautiful stuff from him.
What is it about Caps playing against top laners? We saw him die to Whippo early on in lane. Now we've seen him do it to Sakurai. This time he was in mid lane, but Sakurai coming down from that.
The great mysteries in life, Medic. Yeah. It takes 2 mid laners to beat 1 Faker. Meanwhile, it takes 1 top laner to beat a Cap. So there we are. Any top teams looking to beat him?
League of Legends maths.
League of Legends maths. So when we get a replay, we can highlight what exactly went wrong there for Caps. But we got to see one of the cool grounding mechanics as we see a dive bot.
Knock up onto Dreams, Crownshot exhausted, but so is Perks. Teleport now coming in by SK. Jankos, the Unbreakable, blocks up the Sonic Wave, and G2 have to retreat. They have the blast gun. Perks is going to flash towards it, and they'll get knocked away. SK unable to chase any further.
Good response TP there from Pyrion. And the best thing about it is notice how Caps swapped up towards the top lane. And given that Pyrion TP to bot, he can now walk up to mid and the swap is successful. But G2 are like, nah. We're done with this. We're going to swap them back and we're going to have Tristana versus Karma, which is exactly what we want initially. So the TP did dissuade the dive coming out from Perks and Mickey, which means that SK won't fall behind in the early game. And it looks like SK is still feeling pretty comfortable. So here we go. You notice that Sakurai takes that initial tower shot, and then Caps flashes in Ignite and fully charges the shot, but then this root from the W procs by Sakurai, which then sets up for the wall stun, and is able to get the last bit of burst out with the Q. So really well done there by Sakurai to walk away with that outplay onto Caps.
Yeah, great stuff. Poppy buffs on 914, helping out Sakurai quite a lot. He was a big talking point for this SK lineup when he came in and replaced Whirl. It hasn't had the best of splits so far, but SK also haven't been in the strongest of shapes. Mickey trying to trade here onto Dreams and Selfmade, but they just want the control ward. Perks is coming up from the bottom lane. Caps in the mid lanes, catching onto Pyrion as Jankos hits the Sonic Wave, and Pyrion just can't escape. Jankos, though, underneath the tower. One more shot would be enough. The undertow. Jankos jumps away just in time. Manages to survive. Now Dreams caught off towards the other side, but Mickey can't land the knockup as Dreams flashes away.
So notice how much easier it is for Caps and Jankos to set that play up when they're not having to deal. That's in Annie. Looks like Carlos wasn't briefed on the draft plan from G2 Grabs.
I don't think anyone's really been briefed on this. So we only have 4 top lane Annies in global League of Legends history. Crownshot able to dodge away, but Mickey is there with a feather in the back, and it's an easy enough kill for the G2 bot lane.
So these kills are starting to rack in with G2 Esports, and it's one of the obnoxious things when playing against G2. Once you give them an inch, they often take a mile, and they're looking to do that already. A lot of summoner spells unavailable, and they're looking to bring the pressure up. But now they've got their eyes on Selfmade. He doesn't have his flash, and he looks like the next target for G2.
Does have the Skirmisher Saber and double longsword. Jankos only sitting on double longswords himself, does have a double buff, and with Sakurai coming across, Jankos will realize he really can't take this for too much longer. It would be a 3v1. Caps trying to help out. Mickey round the corner as well as SK go forward, but Dreams now on a ward. I think G2 will give up the ghost on this one, but I've said that before, and they've somehow managed to find a kill, so can never be too cautious around our top team in the LEC.
So the big thing about that play is even though G2 didn't find anything, they wasted a lot of time for SK because SK were trying to make that transition happen between Pyrion and Sakurai. We get an opportunity to see this play happening, but we often see this happen from the side of G2 where teams send their support to roam early on, like around level 4, level 5, and then they look to try and push the wave out, and then they suddenly get collapsed on, and Perks always ends up finding a kill. Now, while it was Mickey that ends up securing it, the reality is that this bot lane got ahead when it was simply an overstep from the enemy AD carry, and you don't want to be giving any form of advantages to a Yasuo lane.
Yeah, every minute advantage you give to G2 just snowballs away from you. We see it in their gold numbers as well, Veddy. It's usually around the 10-minute mark. They're about 600 gold ahead of their opponents or so, but look at the 20-minute mark. 8 times more, 5,000 gold ahead, gaining so much in that 10-minute period.
All right, so we're about to hit the 10-minute mark, Medic.
And they're about 700 gold ahead.
700, 800 gold ahead, right? So what you're telling me is that
6,700.
6,700 should be the gold advantage.
I'm pretty sure it's 6,400, but I've just picked a random number. So.
Well, okay, 6,400.
We'll go 6,400.
All right, that needs to be the gold advantage if G2 want to maintain that record. But so far, SK have been playing pretty solidly. Yes, once their summoner spells were down, they got attacked by a lot of the G2 members looking to try and punish those active summoner spells, but now they're coming back online. Now they should be able to play a little bit safer, try and look to scale up, and wait to hit those big item mid-game spikes, so they can look to try and poke and trade and start grouping up as a team.
The problem always is with waiting against G2, they don't tend to let you wait for too long.
Speaking
they try and
of,
find some catches as Caps onto Pyrion in the top lane. Pyrion does land the root, the Ignite coming out though, and the flash away from Pyrion. Knew that Caps could follow up with the Buster Shot, his ultimate still available.
The all-in power of Tristana is just so strong early on into the game, and Caps nearly finds himself another kill onto Pyrion. You can see how big the difference is in the matchups when he's playing up against the likes of a Poppy versus a Karma. The mages seem to be so heavily punished by the likes of this Trist, where you can't really trade back against these constant autos that are hitting you in the face. Thank you very much, pros in Europe, for introducing this new solo queue menace to the solo lanes.
Heard that it was going around in Korea as well. I think Chovy was someone who was playing it quite a lot. And now with the Cloud Drake secured by G2 at the 11-minute mark, they're 2 kills up and about 1,500 gold ahead. Sakurai now here, up on towards Caps, will land the buckle up, but the chase is on. Caps gonna get hammer shot. Meanwhile in the mid lane, the damage is coming down onto Pyrion. He's already fallen. The charm comes out. Ragnarok won't save you now. G2 take 2.
And all of a sudden, G2 find themselves 2 quick kills. The bot lane of G2 found themselves another roam, and it was all set up by Wonder with that big stun from the ultimate. Did burn his flash. Ooh, they might be looking for another play.
Oh, the stun lock is just disgusting. Kicked back, Dreams goes golden, but Mickey's tanking the tower, and Jankos can just wait for him to come back. Might actually fall to this final tower shut. The shutdown goes over to the Braum. Not the target SK would have wanted, but they'll take anything they can get.
Greedy play there from Jankos. He should have just given the kill to the full health Wonder, who could have then just tanked the tower and walked away. So that's going to hurt his KDA just a bit. In the meantime, look, we can see Perks in the bot lane.
Perks flashing forward, lands the knock-up, doesn't use the ult as he continues to chase Crown Shot down here. Crown Shot trying to get away, Perks will tank up a tower shot, and I want to see if Perks' ult was actually up. I think it was off cooldown during that time.
I believe he used it during the mid lane play.
Yes, he did, so it was on cooldown.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was unavailable there. There, you can see it's on cooldown. So pretty hard commit there from Perks. I think he believed he had more damage than he actually did. He's only sitting on a Zeal. You're not really that strong as a Yasuo that early on into the game. So Crown Shot was just able to get out of that one. Wasn't forced to use any summer spells. Caps with the all-in once again.
Going in once again. There's just no escape from Caps. Pyrion forced back. Has the teleport if he wants to get back into the lane. But here comes the TP in by SK. Olaf coming down from the bottom side of this fight. And Caps might have to use his flash to get away. Pyrion's still on the chase. The two-shot barrage won't land. Undertow won't either. And Caps just like, okay, I'll put on my Dark 6 shoes for a moment. I'll jump away. SK are burning that TP really for nothing.
5 members are sent up towards the top side. This will give time for Perks to base and push out the bot wave, but this indicates that SK are looking to secure a Herald, and this could be a big fight on its way. You can already notice the Perks making his way from base up towards mid. SK don't want to take the risk right now.
It's just so dangerous to do anything like that against G2 when you have the threat of a Tibbers. Zakray's going to go in on towards Jankos here as the Ragnarok comes out from Selfmade. They're looking for the engage as he flashes in. Jankos going to have to flash away. The Undertow won't be enough, and now Caps can just turn around the damage. First onto Sakray, and then looking for Selfmade if he can get forward. Pyrion and Dream's going to join the fight, but SK still unable to find any purchase as G2 just keep repelling their advances.
I liked what SK tried to do. They felt like that they had a numbers advantage and they could just burst Jankos down. And if they kill him, then with the jungler gone, maybe they can get a setup play onto the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, some fancy footwork and some good last-minute flashes from Jankos allow him to get out of that situation. And now G2 have their eyes set on Crown Shot.
Oh, good flash away there from Crown Shot. Knew he was dead if Mickey landed the knock-up with the charm combo, and Perks coming in afterwards. Does mean that the summoner spell is burnt for SK, but they live to continue in the fray here. Perks just doing what he can in the mid lane, but you have to look at SK now and think, okay, we're 3,000 gold behind at the 15-minute mark. We're losing plates all over the map. What can we do? Do we need to force a play?
Well, I still think that they're looking to scale a little bit more. The problem is they haven't been able to take advantage of this Olaf pick in the early game whatsoever. G2 have been making a lot of swaps happen, and it feels like Jankos has found way more opportunities than Selfmade has. He's just kind of looked to make a lot of plays towards the bot side of the map. Nothing really paid off. Meanwhile, G2 were constantly getting summoner spells. They were trading kills, and even though Caps lost his life, the fact that Sakurai was forced to burn his summoner spells as well gave G2 a lot of options to play around. So they've been attacking mid, they've been attacking top, and they even then turned that pressure into bot lane play. And it's one of those things where now they're looking for a play top.
Steadfast Presence comes down, but Jankos just waits it out. Sakurai's going to try and flash away. Jankos still on the chase, has the ult, will kick him back, lands the next Sonic Wave, and underneath the tower, Jankos will secure his prey. Mickey may be looking for something around this red buff, instead just backs away.
Caps also finds a solo kill onto Pyrion. He's been looking for that for this entire game, and he finally secures it along with another tower. G2 ballooning this gold lead. What do we say? It was a 700 gold lead at 10 minutes. We're now 15 minutes in, and it's already a 5,000 gold lead.
It's absolutely disgusting. We'll see if they can get towards that 6.4 thousand mark that we predicted at the 20-minute mark. If they win the game before that, we'll just pretend we were right, Vedius. That's kind of how it works. Let's have another look at this bot lane play.
So we can see here, Pyrion. Selfmade is hanging around. He's looking to flank. He then... Oh, no. I mean, unfortunately for Pyrion, he's like, well, my jungler's here. I should be fine. But then, unfortunately for Selfmade, he could do nothing with his Hex Flash. So they end up not punishing him. Caps walks away with a kill. And we're just getting to see the all-in power of this Tristana. Beautiful stuff from Caps. But really, a lot of this early game has been off the back of Jankos. His roams around the map, a lot of the ganks that he's made happen have been extremely successful. He only had one greedy play underneath the tower where he wanted to try and get more kills. But aside from that, I feel like that he's been very influential in just looking for picks, playing around the right lanes, and the most important thing is I feel like we don't see enough players just gank a lane to force a summoner spell, because with the summoner spell gone, you can then make a repeat gank. And this is something that G2 just do a lot of.
Yep.
And Pyrion now has his flash up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough against these three members of G2.
No tower there to defend him and no life left. Easy enough pickings for G2. That is catching SK out at every moment of this game. 8 kills to 2 up, 16 minutes in. And SK will have to settle with a Cloud Drake on the bottom side, but G2 are looking for a tier 2 in that top lane.
So they already have a 6k gold lead, and we haven't even reached the 20-minute mark yet. Now they're going to use the Rift Tile to keep pushing up towards top. Like, what do you do against this team? The pressure is just unrelenting.
Caps going in with the Blade of the Ruined King here onto Crown Shot, looking for the jump away, but Crown Shot will use his Arcane Shift. And it's still just a push in the top lane here for G2. They continue with the Rift Herald in. This might just be an inhibitor tower down at the 17-minute mark. G2 going quicker and quicker every week. The hammer shot comes down. Perk's going to have to flash away from the Fisher. But here comes Wonder. Look at him. He's got the flash engage. Straight in. Straight done. Easy enough for G2. Sakura's trying to run away. But G2 still on the chase. Instead, they'll just go for the inhibitor. Caps trying to win in the 1v1. It takes them both out. SK trades with Caps. But for it, they lose an inhibitor up towards the top side.
Jankos does land the Q onto Sakurai, but G2, after taking the inhibitor at 17 minutes and 28 seconds, have decided that's enough for today. We're going to go back to base, spend some of our gold after what was a bit of hard work up towards the top side. 11 kills to 3. They have just been dismantling SK. And SK, they have had a difficult split. They have been struggling, but it just feels like G2 are playing with their food.
It definitely does. It's like watching a wounded animal trying to walk away from a lion. G2 are ferocious and unstoppable, and they are 8,000 gold ahead. If you could cool off just a little bit, guys, you need to lose about 1,600 in the next 2 minutes for us to be correct. That would be great, but I don't see any signs of G2 stopping right now.
It's just one of those things where I think if you're a fan of G2, this is what you want to be seeing, because if you're a top team domestically, you want to prove that there is a very clear gap between you and the rest of the teams. And it's one thing to have a standings gap, but when you look at how they play, they are just so different, so unique, and it feels like that very few teams have been able to challenge them. And they've only gotten better after their loss to Fnatic. So that only builds up more for that rematch, which is coming, I believe, maybe even next week.
I believe so as well. I think it's last game on day 2 next week. I have a little bit of a quick stat, Vedius,
right.
if that's
Hit
okay.
me.
This is a good quick stat, though, because it's actually interesting.
Nice.
Okay? Now, if G2 win this game before the 24-minute, 16-second mark, 16 of 50 of the fastest games in the LEC history are by G2. It would be incredible stuff. 16 of 50.
Wow. That's a lot of percentages.
Yep. Oh, it's all wins. Perk's going to go in here in the mid lane as Krankers try to look for the knock-up. Going to catch out Dreams as well, but Mickey's very low. The last breath will not connect, and here's Wonder down towards the bottom side. SK trying to fight with this one back. Caps maybe overextended, gets the buster shot only onto Pyrion, but look at how low he is. The Glacial Fish comes down, he's frozen in the spot for the moment, but they're still not dead. Mickey! Oh no! Oh dear! He's done! SK get their 4th kill of the game.
They deserved that because G2 were extremely greedy in that play, trying to dive that tier 2 when all of SK were there. They should have been punished for it, and I'm happy that SK were able to successfully punish them.
Oh.
And then Wonder just gets himself a kill.
That's the power of Annie, though. Instant stun. Instant CC and a lot of damage to boot. Sakura's going to try and jump in here onto Perks and Jankos, but he's forced away. Wonder coming in from the side as Caps jumps onto Pyrian. Goodbye once more, sweet prince. You have not had the best of games, and Caps is proving just how strong this mid lane Tristana can be.
What am I supposed to say about this? G2 is sitting between two towers right now, zoning Crown Shot away. Wonder sidesteps. Jankos still looking for kills. Oh! And they're gonna find it! G2 Esports, 20 minutes in, sitting at 14 kills now. They successfully blew that percentage. What, I think they managed to get a 9,000 goal lead.
It was like 8,500.
Over like 10 times the gold advantage that they had at 10 minutes. They have just ballooned it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how you snowball games.
This, my friends, is a shellacking. Now, after this game, Splice's Xerxes and Coach Duke will join us for PGO, so be sure to tune in for that. We also have a very special announcement after this game. Not going to say what it is. I may have been on Reddit earlier. Go check my post history. There's some teasers.
Hey guys, I don't want to reveal anything, but I may have revealed something somewhere.
I didn't reveal anything.
All right.
I just teased.
We're teasing.
I'm a teaser.
There's a big, exciting announcement that you're going to want to tune into.
I'm like those delicious Malteser chocolates. Just a tasty morsel of goodness.
Great.
That's what I call you as well.
Is it? Okay.
21 minutes in, G2, 9,000 gold ahead. And SK looking down the barrel of a very loaded gun. G2 just in such a strong position. There is a dragon up for them soon as well if they want to take it, but you have to think they can just start pushing in this bottom and mid lane and close out the game pretty sharpish. I'm sure they'll want to do it before the 24-minute, 16-second mark.
Oh, we'll see if they can do it. Oh, Caps has found his prey once again.
That was good play-by-play, Velios.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you do.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, this is what happened.
Usually it's a bit louder.
All right.
Do you want to do the next one?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Just giving you the offer.
G2 games when they tried to end Tower Dive, and I would like not to ruin my voice. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, next steps for SK.
There are none, I'm afraid. It's one of those situations where I'd like to give you hope, but there's very little at this point in time. They are 10,000 gold down. It's only 22 minutes in. They would need a massive mistake on the side of G2 and another one to even stand a chance of coming back into this game. And here we are, last-ditch defense. They're going on to Wonder.
Glacier Fisher used Wonder there with Tibbers, pops him down the knock-up. The chain is just disgusting. G2 take two. It was SK who went in for the engage, but it's Caps who's going to finish it off. Jumping straight onto Selfmade. That's another one down, and Caps is not done yet. Crown Shot is in his sights. Jankos almost goes back all the way to the fountain. Mickey is there to defend him just in time, and Crown Shot might look to turn this one around, but once again, it's just G2. Somehow they always survive. Caps, he's done, but he takes out Pyrian. A little bit of dessert on the cake that is this game for G2. They're pushing in mid now, and it's only Crown Shot left to defend.
The respawn timers are relatively low, so SK should respawn in time before G2 can end it, but they're going on to Crown Shot. They shut him down. 4 members of G2 still in the base. They're looking to end.
As Quickshot would say, that was flash, bear, splat there as Crown Shot went down. People might be too young for that joke.
They might
maybe
be, but it's yours now, man.
Quickshot will be at home laughing, I promise you. Now G2 just looking for the Nexus Towers. The inhibitor in the bottom lane is available for them if they want it. They still have an 11,000 gold lead, and eventually they say, oh, there are objectives in this game. It's not all about killing your opponents. They'll take down the third inhibitor tower, and shortly after you have to feel they'll get the inhibitor as well.
What was the timer, Medic? What
24-16.
24-16. They only have 40 seconds left to end this game.
Do you guys think you can do it? I don't know if that's a yes or no.
Like a very convincing.
They're not
Flash Bear Splat!
Flash Bear Splat! And once again, G2 pick up a quick kill. Pyrian's down. SK running back towards their fountain. You'll find no solace there, my friends. G2 looking for that final inhibitor. And then the Nexus Towers and a few more kills will be in their sights.
All right, they got 20 seconds left, Medic. Well, now they have 20 seconds left. They're looking for the base, the flash in.
Splashes in and kicks Sakura into his team. Mickey there with the charm. Caps trying to fight on the bottom side, but Mickey comes to his rescue, saves him in the moment. Perks going in, he's tanking up the tower. Selfmade tries to take him out, but he goes golden for the second. And now Caps has finally realized you can attack the Nexus Towers as well. The timer has passed. G2 will not hit that record today, and Caps will fall now. Jankos, the new target, just about survives once again. The last breath goes in, and G2, they just pile into the fight. The second Nexus Tower their target, but there's still 2 more kills for them to get, and I'm pretty sure they won't want to leave those on the rip.
Looks like Crowntree is going to do what he can to survive. He gets knocked up. If they're looking to secure the kill, they take it out before the Nexus drops. And G2, they still haven't ended the game.
Now they do.